remember when I was...
We ready to begin?
Let's begin.
Okay. All right, this is the Town of Dudley Economic Development Committee, and we are meeting at 10:08 a.m. on October 15th, 2019. So we'll begin with the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I wonder if Don's planning to attend.
I'm not sure.
Do you know if Don's in today, Fred?
No, I don't. I didn't see a star when I came.
Okay.
All right, so the, on the agenda today is to accept the minutes from June 18th, 2019. So we're behind on minutes by a bit.
Yep.
But do we have any of those in our possession at this point in time? I do not.
I do not either.
We haven't seen minutes in a while. We're in a transition, Jason, so we're working out some roles here. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna table the acceptance of minutes and work with Brian to make sure that we have everything from June through October
Okay.
at the next meeting. Does that work?
Yep.
Okay. Why don't we start with Jason, if you would like to introduce yourself to us, and maybe we can answer some questions for you, and then we'll go from there.
So, my name is Jason Russo. Been a Dudley resident all my life. Own a couple of businesses, one here in Dudley, one in Webster, and just like to help you guys out in any way I could to help the town.
Great, okay. Any questions that we have for Jason?
So, what do you know about the Economic Development Committee, Jason?
Not a whole lot, other than what I've heard from others, like you yourself. You guys kind of work with the planning board. Other than that, that's about it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we're kind of a board that there's a variety of duties that we have, but the main one is, how do we help the town? How do we help steer the town to develop economically? And Dudley is a unique town in that there's really no town center, so to speak. There's Nichols essentially is like where our town center is, but that's really truly not the town center. The town center is down on Main Street, as far as I know, kind of where Marty's is. And, there's been a whole lot of discussion and a lot of walks and a lot of different events over the years. And, how do we, first of all, coordinate and organize the zoning, where the zoning is, try to allow businesses to develop in an area that we feel as though is the right place to develop, and then try to help spearhead that and drive that, to continue to make the town of Dudley what the townspeople want it to be. That's my kind of where my head's at relative to, the needs or the things that this committee does. I don't know if some of the other board members want to maybe add to that to help, really round out kind of what we do for Jason.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Please.
I'm relatively new as well. I think I've been on the committee for the last couple of years. And when I first joined, the president at the time we started to relook at the, if I'm not mistaken, the master plan, and we've worked in conjunction with coming up with a couple of initiatives right out of the gate to help promote economic development within the town. I think one of the first things that we did, just to give you an example, we had a lot of people buy and sell things online, internet, like an internet exchange safety zone outside, which we worked with the police department. There's a lot of different other things as well. I forget the name of the organization that helped us, that the town planner, Don Johnson, helped us to get in touch with, and there was some grant money that helped them work with us to come up with helping to fine-tune our plan and to kind of relook at that as to, like Mark said, where we want to see Dudley. You know, there isn't, you know, you drive through it, and a lot of times you don't even know you're in Dudley. And we're, you know, and working in conjunction with business owners like yourself and other people in the area. Our last president started a nice initiative with a lot of the farmers in the area. And on this board, we have, or this committee rather, we have a lot of experience. We have a couple of members that have been actively involved in the town for many, many years and help us navigate different processes and things like that. So, I mean, for me, the biggest thing is to help, you know, business owners economically, try to attract, make Dudley, and promote Dudley as a great place to live. And that's where, this committee has been involved the last couple of years. Anybody else? Joe?
No, other than time commitment, I think we really need to, if you want to be on the committee, I think you do have to be willing to put some effort into it. We've had a few people pass through. We are all pretty dependable for showing up for meetings. Obviously, everybody can't attend all the meetings, but we do expect people to be a participant in this. It's not just something you decide to do and on occasion show up. So hopefully your schedule will permit you to be an active participant in it and bring some new ideas with it. We need to have, the only way you get growth is you can't have the same ideas going round and round and the same people round and round. So it'd be great to add somebody new onto it with a little more energy on it.
We've also had some people come, Jason, to us and were trying to develop their own business. And we call that, someone wanting to join the board with an agenda. I've had a conversation with you, outside of this when we were talking about it. And I know that's not the case, but obviously, it's important that we make that statement. So I know that's not why you're here, but it's important that that's stated, so.
I love the town of Dudley. I think it's a beautiful town. Everyone seems peaceful and nice. And what we gotta do to make it more attractive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and one of the other things, as some of the other board members said, was, and it's always nice to talk about, all the different things that we can do and supposed to do and hope to do, but I think that I've only been on for less than a year, but I've been on the planning board for quite a while. And what this board has gotten done in the past year with this agricultural forum was fantastic. There are tons of farmers in town, and Dudley is one of the, in Massachusetts, has one of the largest amounts of farmland. And so it's protected, but if it's just sitting there doing nothing, the town doesn't collect much in taxes, and so these farmers don't want to give it up because they believe that, we can still farm here. And this board was able to develop a committee and a forum. They passed it through the selectmen, and now it's operating on its own. And they're having meetings, and they're including, they're inviting us, but also updating us on what's happening, and they're ecstatic. They're talking about growing hemp and, all kinds of different things. And so I really applaud the board for doing that. I had nothing to do with it. I kind of came on as it was kind of happening, but those are the sort of things to actually see something not only get started, or we hope that this is going to happen. It actually happened, and now it's running on its own. And that's the kind of the goal, is we kind of set things in place and then let them, build off of that. We don't have to stay involved in these projects continuously. So that's the nice part about it.
I would also add, if you've had a chance or not, if you go to the website and kind of look up our materials in the last year, we had produced the economic development plan that we submitted to the town selectmen, and we had done the survey, which was pretty telling in terms of what the townsfolk are looking for and what's important to them. So those would be two materials I would also point you in the direction of, that things that we've accomplished and at least put out there to the community. We're at, I don't think we're at a change of the guard. That's where we are right now. Our previous leadership to this committee stepped out for a while and had done a great job of steering the ship, and now we have to align and put people into the leadership positions and decide what our next focus is going to be going forward, and continue to foster everything we can on our in our community. So we would,
And where are those on the town website?
yeah, on the town website. I believe it's under Town Economic Development Committee, and you can also go back and, you know, if you're having trouble sleeping any night, you can go back and watch all of our videos.
And you'll fall right asleep.
That's it.
But I would encourage you to look at those materials as well.
And that was also, correct me if I'm wrong, I remember our former president, I mean, he did quite a job redoing the website.
Oh, yeah.
He had an IT background, and he did an amazing job, not just making sure that it was secure, but just it gave it a whole new look, and it was just, he was able to dedicate a lot of time, you know, to this committee, and that's, as PJ just said, now we have to figure out, okay, you know, we need to be committed, we need to spend time, you know, that we, and just, you know, make sure that where we're heading is, you know, we've got things that we want to get accomplished and work towards them together to get them, you know, done, so,
It's all about Dudley, right?
That's right.
yeah, especially.
And that's why we're all here. All right, so I will, I'm not sure, I know, Joanne, you weren't sure of the process, but I think while we're here and we have quorum, it would be a good idea to at least, do we take a vote at this time, don't we? To put a motion forward and submit that to the Board of Selectmen, and if it's the opposite way around, well, then we're ahead of the game. So I'd entertain a motion at this time.
Yeah, so I'll make a motion to accept Jason as kind of a board member. You know, again, like you said, whatever the process might be, but I thought it was this way, in that we would have a kind of interview and find out his intentions, accept that, and then move that forward. But anyway, make a motion to accept Jason's interest in becoming a board member on the Dudley Economic Development Committee.
Okay,
I'll second that motion.
thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we shall do that. All right, wonderful. The other thing that we need to really discuss, and it's, you know, we're kind of behind the eight ball, is the reorganization of the board members. I know when John stepped down, that was in the middle of the summertime, I believe it was, and as we're just all kind of reconvening at this point in time, I believe, the last I knew, Brian was interested in stepping into the position as the chairman. Has anyone had an alternate discussion with him? I know you were not, and I don't recall on either other side, but...
Yeah, I did have a conversation with Brian, and he did, this was several months ago, and he said that he was interested in taking on the chairman role.
Mhm.
So I was gonna say, you know, maybe suggest that we table it until he's here, but I don't think that we would be, he would be surprised if that were the case, but that's certainly up to the board, if he was nominated for that position.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
So what do you guys feel?
So I don't know, I haven't spoken to him in a while since John's last meeting. And so I know he's been taking the lead on the email and putting things out to the committee, but, you know, I would have liked to have seen I desire this position, please vote me in kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That would be great, because
Yeah.
it's easy to,
I don't
vote
wanna
somebody
make
in
an
when they're not
assumption,
here, but I
But, I
don't-
mean, I think based
we
on
need to move forward.
last time when we were here, he seemed to express that he would do it. He wanted to, you know, that he was hoping that he would get the guidance, which luckily we have folks on the board that are very familiar with how things work here at the town hall, and just, you know, kind of getting him up to speed. So I agree. I think maybe if we can reach out to him after this meeting and see, if he could, just to verify it, maybe at the next meeting, we can all, make it official, if everybody's in favor of that.
Well, I think it's always tough if you appoint somebody who wasn't here. So I'm in favor of at least having the conversation with him and some of the others who'd like to hold an office or position. I know that I have no interest in doing that, so I think it's always good to run it by the people who are ready to step up to the plate next and present it, I think, at our next meeting.
Okay. I think we're better off to do that. I'll remain in place as the vice until such time, but we will table confirming, suggesting, voting Brian in as the chairperson of our committee until such time that he's here to advocate for himself.
Agreed.
Agreed?
Yeah, or the whole reorganization, we would just
Yep.
postpone that, yeah.
Okay.
All right. I don't have an Ag Commission update. Does anyone? At this
We
point in
can
time?
give you a little update on the town video thing. Mark and I had met, and then I've just set a date with Todd for us to finally get together. He's gonna help us maybe put together what we would like to present to the banks for input on them to participate. So after this week, I think we'll be in a stronger position to
Okay.
pull the trigger and do what we had committed to do.
Okay.
And just to refresh my memory, and where would this all, where would the videotaping of this and all of that take
I
place?
think we were talking right at the college.
Oh,
had
right at the
food.
college?
We have a green screen room that we can maybe do something in, yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
So I'll need a couple weeks lead time to
Mhm.
line things up on that end. So just include me in an email or update of any sort. And Dawn is not here for a town planner update. Any new business? I'm curious if anyone had been to the recent town meetings around the pot shop discussion.
Read some articles, but I did not make it there, unfortunately.
Mhm.
What did I?
Okay.
There is the Webster Dudley Oxford Chamber of Commerce has been working with the fire chief in Dudley, and so this Saturday, October 19th, from 10 to 2, will be the ribbon cutting there. Lake 940 Radio will be there. Two of our political leaders will be there, Fatman and Durant. There will be tours, there'll be a smokehouse, a number of things for kids to do. And, if any of you have some time on Saturday, it'd be great to have you come out and, help celebrate the new facility. It looks fantastic. I have had an opportunity to kind of go in various stages of completion, and it's just amazing inside. So, and I know the chief is very pleased with what, that what they've accomplished.
It's exciting to see that come to fruition after
Yeah.
many years of working on it. So, thank
And
you.
it's open to the public, everybody
Sure.
can go
Yep.
and take tours and things?
Yep, absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, there'll be refreshments. Sturbridge Coffee is doing coffee. My wife and I are doing some soda and donuts for our business. Ramco is doing a pizza truck from Putnam, which I hear is really, really nice. And P&P is providing the cost for Lake Radio to be there. So,
Great.
yeah, some good sponsors, and,
Wow, sounds like
Yeah.
a great event.
yeah,
Definitely.
Should
And
be
it's going
fun.
to be a gorgeous day, it's supposed to be, so.
Yep.
Any other new business or open discussion? I might suggest to myself included, all of us, that maybe we should all go back and reread our economic development plan and see kind of where we're at and take a little stock, and go back over some of our notes, because the last I had, we'd kind of hand that over to the Board of Selectmen, and I guess I'm not really sure where that's all gone and what our next directive is, but as we reorg and figure out where we're going, it would be to our benefit to go back through that document and see, and use it as somewhat of a blueprint, hopefully, to get us keep us moving in the right direction. We've come a long way in the last couple of years, so we don't want to, other than a temporary lapse, we don't want to lose the momentum. We want to keep moving forward and make good things happen for our town, so.
Absolutely.
Any other open discussion items, anyone?
Just a quick question, you know, to Jason. I'm always interested to hear from existing business owners in town. As a business owner, operator, like, what would you like to see? Like, if Dudley do, or to improve in some way for yourself and other business owners?
For me, it's probably a little tough. Kind of on the outskirts of town, middle of nowhere,
Yeah,
Dudley
yeah.
section, so. Maybe utilize the digital signs they have outside for
Okay.
businesses to advertise on.
Okay.
Other than that, the town does great by me.
Okay.
Well, I may be the only one who doesn't know what your business is, so what is your business?
Pro Automotive,
Okay.
got the location right next to Morgan,
Oh, okay.
and
All
then
right.
the other one in Webster.
He works on Cadillacs too, Julie.
I'm loyal to where I'm at. I'm sorry.
All right.
Good, well, that's good to know. Then you've been in town for a while, I know,
Yeah.
that's good. And what part of Dudley you're a resident of the town,
I
obviously?
live up Britley's Way.
Okay, good, all right. Well, then you've got a vested interest for sure between business and family.
Grew up on New Boston Road.
Then you understand what our
do.
community is about. It is kind of interesting to see, even with this building that now is taking place on the old Ethan Allen building, it'll give people an insight as to what you can do with an old building. People lose sight that structures get rehabbed. The life cycle of any kind of real estate property is it goes through rehab. You think of houses when they're originally built, and then they deteriorate, and then it looks like the siding man went through, the roofing man went through, and you see a whole neighborhood. We used to have revitalization programs.
Yeah.
And we looked and we saw areas so that counties would know Jericho. All of the houses got sided, they got new roofs, so you start to see rehab, and the same has got to be true of commercial. You know, there were some good sites, some good locations, and sometimes it's worth putting the money back into a building to make it come to life, to continue on. So I'm going to try and get to that, because I would be interested in seeing what they've done over there. I haven't had any inkling. I think I went when they had the go-karts there or something. That was it. Good. Well, good. We're glad to see that you have an interest. We need some young people in town. We need people who've got a vested interest, and it's about, we can't change the economic flavor of what goes on, but we can try and make ourselves more appealing to businesses to locate here. We have limited things to offer because of our highway access and those things. It doesn't mean we can't grow, though. It just means we've got to look ahead and figure out a few more avenues to make it easier. I think we did a good job on trying to make it easier to process the permits in town and going through that over the years. Planning board was instrumental in that, and trying to make it easier for businesses to come into towns. It's just we have limited places for businesses to go at this point in time. Good, well, good.
All right.
Glad
Any
you have an interest.
last call for any open business?
So regarding reaching out to the selectmen, who's planning to do that?
Well, I think our easiest thing is just walk from here to talk to the selectman's clerk and just ask them to send us an email clarifying it. But I thought the order usually was that people submitted an application, then they forwarded the application to us to talk to people, and then they make the final appointment. I think they're the controlling authority over
Okay.
our board,
Maybe.
but I could be wrong.
Yeah, we can just do that.
All right.
All right, so we will see you all in November.
And then how about minutes? Someone going to generate the minutes from today's meeting?
I can
Would you like
generate.
me
yep.
to, or-
No, I can generate the minutes
Okay.
from today's meeting. We'll see if the other ones from June through today exist. I think they do. We'll have to
Right.
go back online and just double check them and take care of that, so.
I think they have been sent in emails, and then, again, when we didn't meet, they kind of got buried, and
Mhm.
so I do have some emails back that say, here are the minutes, but
Yeah.
weren't able to put my finger on them, but I know they're in existence, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, seeing no other further business, can I get a
Motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn? Second?
I second
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Meeting is adjourned.